That text message saved my life, but it also destroyed everything I thought I knew about the people closest to me. What started as an ordinary Tuesday became the day I discovered the most devastating betrayal imaginable, and the day I decided to take back my power. I'm Madison, and 6 months ago, I was living what I thought was the perfect life. At 28, I had landed my dream job as a marketing coordinator at Pinnacle Solutions, a prestigious consulting firm downtown. The salary was incredible. The office had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, and my colleagues seemed genuinely friendly. But the best part? My fiancé Tyler worked just 2 floors above me as a senior analyst. Tyler and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a coffee shop near my old job, and it felt like destiny when he told me his company was hiring. "You'd be perfect there," he'd said, those warm brown eyes lighting up. We could ride to work together, grab lunch, maybe even sneak away for afternoon coffee dates. It sounded romantic. It sounded perfect. My best friend Ashley wasn't so sure. "Mixing work and personal life can get messy, Madison," she'd warned over wine one evening. What if things go wrong? I'd laughed it off. Ashley had always been the cautious one in our friendship. She worked as a freelance graphic designer from her apartment, rarely venturing into traditional office environments. What could she possibly know about workplace romance? "Tyler and I are solid," I'd assured her. "Besides, it's a huge company. We barely see each other during work hours anyway." That should have been my first red flag. The first few months at Pinnacle were everything I'd hoped for. I threw myself into campaigns, impressed clients, and earned praise from my supervisor, Monica. Tyler and I would meet for lunch occasionally, but he was always busy with important meetings or client calls. I told myself this was normal, he was climbing the corporate ladder, after all. But slowly, things began to change. Tyler started working later and later. Weekend plans got canceled because of urgent projects. When I'd suggest stopping by his floor to say hello, he'd get this strange look and say, "Better not." You know how office gossip spreads. I noticed other things too. He'd gotten a new cologne, something expensive and musky that made my eyes water. He'd started going to the gym religiously, coming home with perfectly styled hair despite supposedly working out. And his phone, once carelessly left around our apartment, was now permanently glued to his side. "You're being paranoid," I told myself. "He's just focused on his career." But the paranoia grew stronger when I started noticing Ashley's behavior too. Ashley, my best friend of 8 years, had become distant. Our weekly coffee dates turned into monthly check-ins, then sporadic texts. When we did talk, she seemed nervous, distracted, always cutting conversations short. "I've been really busy with client work," she'd say, but her Instagram stories showed her at expensive restaurants and weekend getaways I'd never heard her mention. The pieces didn't add up, but I pushed down my suspicions. I was probably just stressed from work, I reasoned. New job anxiety was making me see problems where none existed. That changed on Tuesday, November 15th. I was sitting at my desk, reviewing campaign metrics after a successful client presentation, when my phone buzzed. The number was blocked, but the message made my blood freeze. "Leave the building now. Don't tell your fiancé or anyone. Meet me at Central Park Cafe in 20 minutes. Come alone. Your life depends on it. A friend." My hands started shaking. Was this some kind of joke? A scam? But something about the urgency, the specificity, made my stomach drop. I looked around the office. Everything seemed normal. Monica was on a call. My desk neighbor Tim was typing away at his computer. The afternoon sunlight streamed through those beautiful windows I'd admired so much on my first day. But that text message felt like a bomb had gone off in my chest. I grabbed my purse, told Monica I was feeling sick and needed to go home, and practically ran to the elevator. My mind raced as I walked the 3 blocks to Central Park Cafe. Who could have sent that text? What kind of danger could I possibly be in at work? The cafe was nearly empty, typical for a Tuesday afternoon. I ordered a coffee with shaking hands and chose a corner table where I could see the entrance. After 10 excruciating minutes, a woman in dark sunglasses and a navy coat walked in. She scanned the room, made eye contact with me, and approached my table. "Madison?" I nodded, unable to speak. She sat down across from me and removed her sunglasses. I gasped. It was Melissa, Tyler's ex-girlfriend from college. They dated for 2 years before breaking up, supposedly amicably, right before Tyler and I got together. "Melissa? What? What's going on? Did you send that text?" Her face was grave, older somehow than I remembered. "Madison, I'm so sorry to have to tell you this, but Tyler is stealing from the company. Massive amounts. And they're going to arrest him today." The world tilted sideways. "What? That's impossible. Tyler would never." "There's more." Melissa's voice was barely above a whisper. "He's not doing it alone. He has an accomplice who's been helping him move the money, creating false accounts, covering his tracks." I felt like I was drowning. "Who?" Melissa reached across the table and took my hand. "Madison, it's Ashley." The coffee cup slipped from my numb fingers, shattering on the floor. Other patrons turned to stare, but I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. "That's impossible," I whispered. "Ashley doesn't even work at Pinnacle. She's a freelancer. She doesn't know Tyler that well. They've been having an affair for 8 months, Melissa said softly. Tyler hired her as a consultant to help with the embezzlement scheme. She's been creating fake invoices, phony marketing materials, false paper trails. But it's more than business, Madison. They're together." The room was spinning. I thought I might vomit. "How do you know all this?" Melissa's expression hardened. "Because Tyler tried to recruit me too. He reached out 6 months ago, said he had a business opportunity. When I realized what he was planning, I told him I wanted nothing to do with it. But I couldn't just ignore it, Madison. People's jobs, their livelihoods, the company's reputation, it's all at stake." "So you called the police?" "I've been working with the FBI for 2 months, documenting everything. They have recordings, bank records, emails between Tyler and Ashley, planning not just the theft, but their future together. They're planning to disappear to the Cayman Islands next week with over $2 million. I couldn't process it. My fiancé and my best friend had been systematically stealing from my company while carrying on an affair behind my back, and they were planning to run away together, leaving me to pick up the pieces of the life they'd destroyed. "Why are you telling me this?" I managed to ask. "Because you're listed as Tyler's emergency contact. When they arrest him, which should be happening right about now, they're going to want to question you. I wanted you to hear the truth first, from someone who cares about getting justice." As if on cue, my phone started buzzing with calls from unknown numbers. Then from Monica. Then from Tyler. I stared at Tyler's name on my screen, letting it ring. "He's calling me." "Don't answer it," Melissa warned. "He's probably been arrested and is trying to use his one phone call to manipulate you into helping him." But I needed to hear his voice. I needed to confront the man who had destroyed my life. I answered, "Madison, thank God. Listen to me very carefully. There's been a terrible mistake. I'm at the police station. They think I've done something I haven't done. I need you to call my lawyer, David Morrison, and tell him—" "Where's Ashley, Tyler?" I interrupted, my voice surprisingly steady. There was a long pause. What does Ashley have to do with anything? "Cut the crap. I know everything. The stealing, the affair, the plan to run away together. I know all of it." Another pause, longer this time. When Tyler spoke again, his voice had changed completely. Gone was the panic, the desperation. In its place was something cold and calculating. Who told you? Does it matter? It's over, Tyler. Whatever sick game you and Ashley have been playing, it's over. Madison, you don't understand. This isn't what it looks like. Ashley and I. We were trying to protect you. I actually laughed, a harsh sound that made other CAF patrons look over. Protect me? By stealing from my company and having an affair? The company is corrupt, Madison. The executives have been laundering money for years. We were gathering evidence to expose them. Ashley was helping because she has financial expertise you don't know about. And yes, we got closed during the investigation, but nothing happened between us until… Until what, Tyler? Until you decided I was too stupid to be part of your master plan? That's not… Look, it doesn't matter now. Madison, I need you to listen. Go to our apartment. In the bedroom closet, behind the winter coats, there's a safe. The combination is your birthday. Inside, there's evidence that will clear my name and expose the real criminals. But you have to get it before. The line went dead. I sat there staring at my phone, Melissa watching me with concerned eyes. What did he say? I told her about the safe, about Tyler's claims that he was actually investigating corruption. Melissa shook her head grimly. Madison, that's exactly what sociopaths do. They create elaborate lies that contain just enough truth to seem believable. Yes, there might be some executives at Pinnacle who cut corners or bend rules that happens at every company. But Tyler and Ashley weren't gathering evidence. They were stealing money and planning to disappear together. How can you be so sure? Because I have recordings of their conversations. They talk about you, Madison. About how naive you are, how easy it was to fool you. Ashley laughs about how you suspected nothing, even when they were meeting right under your nose. The pain in my chest was so sharp I thought I might be having a heart attack. My best friend had been laughing at me. The man I'd planned to marry had called me naive to his mistress. But as I sat there, surrounded by the wreckage of my life, something else began to build inside me. Something hot and fierce and powerful. Rage. I want to hear the recordings, I said. Melissa hesitated. Madison, maybe that's not. I want to hear them. All of them. Over the next hour, Melissa played excerpts from FBI wiretaps that painted a picture so devastating, so complete in its betrayal, that I felt like I was listening to the destruction of a stranger's life. There was Tyler's voice. Madison is so trusting, it's almost pathetic. She actually thanked me for working late last week when I was with you in Miami. There was Ashley. I almost feel bad sometimes, but then I remember how boring her life is. We're doing her a favor, really. She'll be better off without Tyler dragging her down. There was Tyler again. Once we're in the Caymans, we'll never have to think about any of this again. Madison, the FBI Pinnacle, it'll all be someone else's problem. When the recordings ended, I was surprised to find that I wasn't crying. The pain was still there, sharp and constant, but it was overshadowed by something else, clarity. Melissa, I said, I want to help you destroy them. Her eyes widened. Madison, the FBI doesn't need. Not legally. Personally. They humiliated me, betrayed me, stole from my company, and planned to disappear while leaving me to deal with the consequences. I want them to pay for that. Melissa was quiet for a moment. What did you have in mind? I thought about Tyler's phone call, about the safe he'd mentioned. An idea began to form. Tyler thinks I'm still his naive little fiancée who'll do whatever he asks. Let's use that. I spent the next 2 hours working with Melissa, and, eventually, FBI agent Martinez, who had been overseeing the case. We developed a plan that would not only help ensure Tyler and Ashley faced justice, but would also give me the closure I needed. I went to Tyler and Ashley's secret apartment. Yes, They'd been living together part-time for months, armed with a recording device. And a story about how I believed Tyler's claims of innocence and wanted to help him. Ashley answered the door, her face going white.